standards are bad. I know, standards are good, so having twice as many should be twice as good, right? Well, bollocks to that apparently, because double standards are an act of hypocrisy that cries you shouldn't do something, but someone else can. There are a myriad of examples of this, but I can't think of any right now because I'm tired, hungover, and basically phoning this in. Luckily for me, we have a shit film, and more recently, a shit Netflix series called Dear White People, which is back to stir up some animosity and generally have a good old whinge with the aid of that tumour of the internet, the HuffPost. Because nothing qualifies you for a discussion on double standards like the colour of your skin.
Logan, what's up?
You know, I'm really good.
Her surname is Browning. Come on, love, aren't you taking this race thing a little too far?
I'm hanging out with you.
Okay, cool.
A lot of people have a lot of questions, including me.
That's cool, but I'm going first. Why do we have two black people sat in a black room wearing black? There will come a time when you look like floating heads, and that's my gig. Also, why do you have two microphones for one person? Because you're recording a podcast and filming it at the same time, I guess, which leads me to my third question. Why are you doing that?
Okay, fair enough.
One of the questions I have, it kind of has to deal with double standards.
Okay.
I mean, the title of the show, Dear White People, is that not a double standard?
Yeah. I mean, no one would dare make a Dear Black People, would they? Actually, yeah, of course they would, but Netflix wouldn't fucking touch that shit because it would cause a fucking riot.
Why is Dear White People acceptable and Dear Black People wouldn't be acceptable?
Right, yeah.
Well, you're assuming Dear White People is acceptable, aren't you? Personally, I don't give a fuck. You could have called it Big Gay Sunday if you wanted. It won't stop it from being a shit film. But I don't get how people are expected to forget about racial differences when you put it in a fucking title.
So first of all, I would say that it's an assumption that the show is finger wagging or blaming white people for something, and it's also an incorrect assumption.
Yeah, that wasn't the question, dickhead. No one asked you about the actual film or series or kids book or whatever, and if you have to explain why these assumptions based on the title are incorrect, then it's a fucking shit title, isn't it?
It's actually a show about the experience of being a marginalized group amongst a bigger group that doesn't necessarily see you.
Well then, maybe that should have been the title. And they don't see you because you're wearing black in a black room.
All of American culture is kind of a Dear Black People. We are very aware of where we fit and don't fit in culture just by watching television.
That is the most retarded thing I have ever heard. You're basing your perception on fiction. You're a fucking idiot. Fuck me. Don't watch The Walking Dead, whatever you do.
On the other side, unfortunately, because oppression is very real in this country, if a white person makes jokes about black people, that actually affects black people's lives.
How? How does it affect black people's lives? If I tell a joke about police brutality, are the 5-0 gonna kick in your front door and beat the shit out of you? No! It's a fucking joke, not a magic spell, you prized twat!
Yeah, that's
not a double standard.
Oh, well, if two black people say it, then it must be true.
Turn me up.
Okay.
Turn me up a little bit.
Bass on the phones, and there we go.
There we go.
Logan, I have a question to ask you.
Talk to me.
Because we've been talking about double standards.
Right.
You haven't. You've been talking about your shitty Netflix show and displaying a remarkable inability to fucking think.
Is it not a double standard that black folks can say the N-word and it's in like black music? I know, I don't want to answer the question myself, that's why I'm asking you.
Black music? If you aren't talking about banging on a tribal drum, you're chatting shit, mate.
How many things do white people have?
Well, we don't have white music, if that's what you mean. Maybe country and western. I don't know.
How many? All of the things. They have all of the things. There's this one thing. There's this one word.
One thing.
Actually, I can think of 6 racial slurs just off the top of my head. But no, white people have all the things. She couldn't name any, but they have all the things.
We asked for one
black
thing.
people took and used as a form of endearment, and it's ours. Let us have this one word.
Just the one word.
It isn't yours, for fuck's sake. You don't have it copyrighted. I don't have to pay 10 pence every time I say nigger please. Give it time though, and I think you'll find white people made that word off of Negro. So, you know, if it belongs to anyone.
So much hatred behind it when it
Yeah.
comes from the mouths of others, and this is something that we've turned into a very special casual term.
Well then, I'm having the word gusset. That's mine now, and if anyone else says it, then it's racist. And I'm changing the meaning too. Now it means nigger.
Right.
Not to be used by everyone.
We made medicine out of our poison.
Poison? I hate this guy. He's a fucking knob. How was the word killing you, dickhead? And the meaning is still the same, so what's really changed besides your reaction to it? Fucking medicine.
Hey,
Yeah.
is that so wrong?
No, I don't think so. And so what you're saying is this is not a double standard.
It's not a double standard.
Not at all.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Of course it is. Not to mention the use of words like honky and cracker. You don't see anyone kicking off when a black guy says those. It's a massive double standard, probably the biggest. But these guys are black and that makes them more qualified than me.
I feel like I'm in a safe space. You want to know why? Because
Why?
we're at HuffPost Black Voices.
It feels safe for me too.
It's a thing. I think some people might wonder, why can't there be a HuffPost White Voices?
Because that would be adding to the problem, really. You do realize racism will never go away as long as shit like this continues to exist, don't you? Seeking out difference is kind of fueling the fucking fire.
See, here's the thing. That's called HuffPost and the entirety of the internet.
Sorry, the entirety of the internet? The World Wide Web, as in the whole world, where white people are not the majority. You fucking gusset.
Black folks have to create our own channels so that we can have a voice and be a part of the mainstream culture.
You wrote a fucking film, you dickhead. How are you excluded from mainstream culture? Your film has been adapted into a series. How are you excluded from mainstream culture? You're on the Huffington fucking Post. How are you excluded from mainstream culture?
Because otherwise, we'd be silent.
We have to be able to honor each other too. We need a platform to be able to say congratulations for doing that great piece of work. How many black actors and musicians and athletes have gone through history and haven't been recognized because there wasn't that platform?
The same amount as white people, dumbass. That is in no way a racial thing. You can be the best actor in the world, but it won't mean shit if you don't get the recognition. And athletes? Really? When the fastest man in the world is black? Or are you just pissed off because having dark skin isn't seen as an achievement in itself?
The assumption is that if you're an American citizen, you know, you have the right to freedom and happiness and all these wonderful things, except if you're black, or except if you're a part of a marginalized...
Exactly.
You're right. That is an assumption. And a fucking shit one, but it's obviously something you two wankers live by. Just get over yourselves.
So basically what I think you're saying is this is not a double standard.
Well, when you complain about segregation but go on to segregate yourselves, yes it is. But I'm white. What do I know?
Yeah, turn my mic up there. Now everyone can hear me.
Super real. Go ahead.
Great.
Reverse racism.
You don't need the reverse, mate. It's just racism.
When a white person gets their feelings hurt by a joke that a black person might make about white people.
Oh, but when it's the other way around, it affects black people's lives. Your words, Justin. That's your double standard right there.
Okay, all right. You know, people got feelings, Logan. They have valid feelings.
I understand.
Is this a double standard that black people can be subjugated to racism and white people can't?
You've just answered your own question there by saying white people can't. In fact, that wasn't even a question, was it? It was more of a statement. And never mind Logan's reaction there. Oh, poor white people. You are pieces of fucking shit, man.
Right. Well, I mean, I think you have to start by understanding that black people can't be racist.
Whoa! What the fuck, woman? Anyone can be racist. All it takes is a deep-seated hatred of someone with a different colour skin. It's easy. You two have been doing it for the last 4 minutes and you haven't even realised.
Black people can be prejudiced. They can be biased, but they can't be racist. And why is that?
Because the white man won't let them. That's why. Racism is our thing, not for you.
Tell me.
Well, what is racism? Racism is the oppression of a marginalized group in a society that's based on white supremacy.
Wow, you couldn't have got that more wrong if you fucking tried, could you? For someone who was in a film about racism and is in a video talking about racism, you should really know what the fucking word means. Just Google it. It doesn't take a second.
Well,
NBD.
I'm sorry.
Spoiler alert.
If you are a white person, then you naturally benefit from white privilege.
What? I hear this shit all the damn time, but not one fucker can give me an actual example of what it is. White privilege. Oh, so you mean my actions will be considered racist, but if a black guy does the same thing, he's not. Fucking wonderful. Privilege me up.
Anyone can hate somebody because of what race they are, and bigotry is really awful.
Hold on there, cowboy. If anyone can hate someone because of what race they are, doesn't that mean anyone can be racist regardless of what race they are? Kinda shitting all over yourself now, aren't you?
But the thing is, racism, like you said, it's systemic. It's baked into our society.
She didn't say that. I've had to watch this video like 6 times already. She never once fucking said that.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't oppressed, I'm sorry. By the way, it's not as good as it sounds. You don't want to be oppressed.
No, why do you want this thing? This thing that's caused us to be murdered.
You've never been murdered, Logan. Shut the fuck up.
And why do you want this so badly?
So, you know, what I guess you're saying, and what I think I'm saying too, is when it comes to racism, there really is no double standard.
There is no double standard.
You two are such fucking idiots. You're not oppressed, you can be racist, you don't have a harder time than anyone else, and for fuck's sake, why is the soundboard facing her when the bloke is the one using it? I have never heard such bollocks in my life. Great to know while the rest of the world is making an effort to see past our differences, you're sat in your little black room of bullshit making a mockery of the last 50 fucking years. I'm starting to think you want to be oppressed. Thanks for watching, guys. Please consider becoming a patron, because if you don't, you're a fucking bigot. The link is in the description, and remember, not having to worry about race is white privilege. Using your skin color as an excuse, that's black privilege.